Madrid, the aftermath from the new Inhuman's power knocked out everybody except individuals carrying Inhuman DNA. Daisuke, the new Inhuman, receives a warm reception from his fellow teammates. His awesome powers saved the day even though it knocked out the X-Men. Gorgon sees the danger. Daisuke just made himself a whole lot of enemies. Who knows how the X-Men will react to this attack? Crystal claims responsibility. It was on her orders that Daisuke released his awesome power. Crystal will wait for Storm of the X-Men to wake up. She believes that Storm can be reasoned with. But Emma Frost of the X-Men thinks differently. Frost continues her plans with the Master of Magnetism. She wants Magneto to contain the Inhumans in Madrid while her uncanny X-Men take care of the rest. Yorkshire, England. The Stafford sisters are on a mission to add another mutant into their ranks. They arrive at the residence of Thomas Jones, aka the Mutant Alchemy. One more mutant for the upcoming war. Back on Madrid, the rest of the populace begins to wake up. Iceman points out that the only group unaffected by this attack are the Inhumans. Elsewhere, Crystal makes plans to head down to street level to prepare for the X-Men's awakening. But the Angel arrives, followed by the rest of the X-Men. Storm wants answers for this blindsided attack on her people. But Iceman is not so diplomatic. He provokes the Inhuman. But Flint will not be bullied. Tensions begins to rise, so Forge cocks his weapon. Daisuke can fix this. All he needs to do is activate his powers, and everyone except the Inhumans will go back to sleep. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Magic emerges from her teleportation disc, knocks Daisuke unconscious, and vanishes as quick as she arrived. Enraged, Flint demands to know where his new friend has been taken. Iceman does not have an answer. A steel beam crashes down near the group, followed by another and many more. The Master of Magnetism and his team has arrived at last. Magneto mounts a wall around the Inhumans, blocking them from escape. "You crossed the line, Magneto," Crystal states.
Oh, I know I have. Now, the question is, what are you willing to do about it?
Elsewhere, Magic sends her X-Men right in front of the Terrigen Cloud. They brought a new recruit. Scott Summers convinces the young mutant that he needs to make a decision. By helping the X-Men, he will save countless mutant lives. He will be a hero, and he will be an X-Man. If he doesn't, then they all will die. Thomas reluctantly agrees to help Cyclops. He will be an X-Men, and he will save the world. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey, and thank you so much for checking out our coverage of the Death of X issue 3. Comparing this issue to the last two issues, I would rank this one to be the weakest out of the three. Yes, we got a bit of fireworks when the X-Men woke up, and the arrival of Magneto is highly anticipated. But everything in this issue is basically a big setup for the next story arc, which is the Inhumans vs X-Men. There is only one issue left, and I assume we would get a bit more action than this issue. What I mean by this is that I assume Cyclops would have engaged the Inhumans by this point. We know he died when he went to war with the Inhumans, but as of right now, he is basically the puppet master sending big-time mutants such as Magneto to engage the Inhumans. Emma states that they have Sebastian Shaw from the Hellfire Club on their corner, so I would like to see more of that. Throw in more heavy-hitting mutants so we can get a bit more amped up for the Inhumans vs X-Men. But am I just being too picky here? This issue feels more like the road leading up to the big event. If that is the intention of the Death of X story arc, then I guess it's okay. But with the title and what we know so far, I expect Cyclops to die by issue 4. By the way, I wanted to point out one really awesome and crazy fan theory pointed out to me by you guys in the comment section in the last issue. The theory is that Cyclops is actually a walking corpse controlled by Emma Frost. This is backed up by the Stafford sisters' devastation when they linked minds with Emma to boost her powers, allowing Cyclops to send a message to the world. This could also make sense because we know Cyclops died during Secret Wars. But then this is a new world, so if we can believe that he is recreated, then we can believe that he is still alive. But let's take a trip back to issue 1. Cyclops coughed and had a nosebleed. Then later on, he passes out again. In the next scene, he is shown to be okay with Emma standing behind him. If the theory is true, then we can assume that Cyclops got exposed to the Terrigen Cloud and died on Muir Island. Issue 2 is when the Stafford sisters saw something that shocked them when they linked up with Cyclops and Emma Frost. And of course, in issue 2, Emma never left Cyclops' side. At the end, it was Emma who calls Magneto for help, not Cyclops. But issue 3 debunked this theory when Emma speaks to Cyclops alone about some bigger plan that has yet to be revealed. If Cyclops is truly dead, then it is Emma who threw his corpse at the Inhumans, which ignited a war between the two races. But what do you think about this theory? Please let me know in the comments below. So let's discuss a few more things that stood out to me in this issue. I think the biggest challenge this series has is a lack of interest in the Inhumans. I'm sorry, Inhuman fans, I'm gonna go nitpicking a bit here. Daisuke is a new Inhuman that has the ability to put everyone to sleep or in a trance. That power is cool, but why give him such a strange costume that exposes his entire chest? After he gets praise from his fellow Inhumans, he names himself Downer. I think that's a pretty lame superhero name. The other problem is this entire story arc will be compared to 2012's Avengers vs. X-Men. The reason why that story was so successful is that at the time, the Avengers were gaining a lot of popularity due to their success in the movies. X-Men were always a fan favorite, so you could be rooting for either side. This time around, if you are an Inhuman fan, then you will know Crystal and Gorgon of the Inhuman royal family. But honestly, do you know who the rest of these guys are? I have read the Uncanny Inhumans and the All New Inhumans comic series, and it was okay, but I don't feel any bond to these characters. My allegiance is to the X-Men, and by the looks of it from the last issue, you guys in the comment section are on board with me. The last thing I want to mention is the inclusion of a very minor mutant. Before this issue, I had never heard of Thomas Jones, aka the mutant Alchemy. All this tells me is that he will probably die. Same goes for the newcomer Daisuke. They already killed off Jamie Madrox, who got a bit of success on X Factor, so these two minor characters are probably going to bite the dust sooner rather than later. Alrighty, so what did you think about this issue? What do you think about the fan theory about Cyclops being dead since issue 2? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another Comic Island video.